The ultimate purpose, I think, for this energy to get some things through is for you to have an energetic shift.
There's another saying in Sanskrit, which is Ritambara Pragya, and it means that level of intuition or intellect which knows only truth. I think it's from the Yoga Sutras. So would the truthfulness of something be a kind of a litmus test of whether or not it is really from the Akashic Records?
I don't think so.
Like, what if you come up with something that you say is from the Akashic Records and it's completely bogus? I mean, then you would think, well, that couldn't be from the Akashic Records.
Let me explain it to you like this. The ultimate purpose, I think, for this energy to get some things through is for you to have an energetic shift. So what we as human beings would call 100% the truth, I've seen things where I thought, why are you saying it like that? That doesn't sound truthful to me. Yeah. But it totally had the effect on the student or the client, you know? So I don't know if it's like in our human, I don't know if it would always hold up to an American judge.
Or a German judge even.
Or German judge. Let me say it like this. I think there is a different purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And it's about moving walls, you know, moving barriers. So I'm not saying that they are lying on purpose or giving misinformation, but I've had a few times where they were withholding information. Like they are showing me as the reader that there was sexual abuse with the client. And then they're saying, don't say it. Because when the moment I would say it, something would close.
Yeah.
That person. So then they're talking around it, or they're giving it samples, or they're talking about something else first before we actually get to that subject. So I don't think it's a truth measurement.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's a good example. But what about actual objective events? For instance, I heard you mention in one of your talks or interviews about a group you're working with, and you did an exercise where it was like, let's see what it was like to experience the moon landing as Neil Armstrong experienced it, who was the first man to step on the moon. And you mentioned that some of the people in the group have the conspiracy theory that the moon landing was faked. It was just staged in Hollywood or something like that. Now, there's plenty of evidence that people did actually get to the moon. So would sort of doing the Akashic Records exercise convince those people who thought the moon landing was fake that it was actually real? I mean, there would be an example of something that's true. Could you continue to hold an erroneous idea about it, even though you had sort of tapped into the Akashic Records to have an experience of, what that Neil Armstrong had?
Can I tell the story?
Because yeah, please.
There is a real nice twist at the end, which was the miracle. So I did this seminar in Germany, and in America, I asked this question several times already before. In Germany, I've never done it. And it was the end of that one day, and I still had time, and I wanted to do something fun. So I thought, let's do this exercise. And the exercise is we all go in our own Akashic Records, and everybody asks the same question, and then we compare the answers. Because if we are all in the Akashic Records, the answers should more or less match up. So I asked, let's all go fly with Neil Armstrong to the moon and ask, what did he think or feel when he stepped with the first time with his foot on the moon? And then, oh my God, the protest came. And I was like, okay, should I stop this? And I was asking, and they say, no, continue. And I'm like, okay. And I said, guys, just humor me. Let's do it. So we did it. And at the end, nobody said anything anymore about the protest. Maybe there were still some, but they didn't say anything.
And by protest, you mean there were some people who thought the moon landing was faked or something, yeah.
They didn't believe in it, yes. Right. Nobody mentioned that anymore. And everybody was just like, wow, big, grand. And some people would use the F word, like, oh, what the, I can't believe it. And then some were sharing that he also felt very humbled, you know, like, wow.
One
And
small step for a man, one giant step for all mankind.
yes. So everybody was happy. And I said, okay, then that's it for today. And then one woman stood up and she said, I just want everybody to know that my father worked as an engineer on that space shuttle. And we moved for that from Germany to the United States. And I was there when it got launched.
So she was telling them that was a real thing. Yeah.
Well, she said, I don't know where they landed, but I know they got shot up in the air. You know? And I mean, that was just like the icing on the cake. You can't make something like that up. It just was so wonderful.